We're hot off the coattails of New Year's resolutions, and many people have probably hit the gym and they've started to realize the inevitable aches and pains that come with exercise. But many of that is not because of exercise, but because of what's been slowly happening to us over the years, especially if you've spent a fair amount of time adulting already, and that is weak glutes. We sit a whole bunch in our culture. We sit in school, we sit on the bus, we sit in our car, we sit at our desk, we sit on our couch at home, and then we go to bed and we lie on our backside some more. The more we sit on a muscle, the harder it is to activate and do its job, and so it continues to get weaker and weaker over time. We are wonderful survival creatures, so we learn to compensate through. But when it comes to doing things athletically, the body demands good form, otherwise it can only compensate for so long before injury happens. So we attribute a lot of our aches and pains to old age, when in reality, we're just slowly out of balance, specifically the hips. It alternates joint function, meaning my ankles are mobile and my knees are stable. They can only bend in one plane. My hips are mobile, but my low back is meant to be stable. And so we can go down the list about how they alternate mobility versus stability. Well, when a mobile joint loses its mobility, the body tries to compensate with the next joint in line. So if my glutes are weak and my body can't move my hips as much as it needs to, or is not using it the way it ought to, like in a squat or a deadlift, then my body compensates by using the knee or using the low back, the next available joint above or below my hip. So when I squat, I'm supposed to send my hips back and immediately my glutes activate so that I can sit all the way down. But if my body doesn't trust my butt, I'm gonna recruit my knees right out of the gate. And now I can't keep my heels down and it's hard to squat, and I have driven my knees forward until my patellar tendon is being stressed like crazy. And now every time I bend down, I go, oh, my knees. When it wasn't your knee's fault, it's your lazy glutes. Same deal with reaching over to pick up something heavy. I'm supposed to hinge from my hips, push into those hips for stability in order to bend down and pick up something. Hence the adage, lift with your legs, not with your back. But if my body doesn't trust my hips because my hamstrings are stiff and the glutes won't assist because they're too weak, then I will lean over. I will try to mobilize a stable joint. And it's supposed to be stable. It can't do that at the same time to be mobile and stable. And so the low back will start to seize up. And then I go, oh, my back. And eventually it gets so tight that one morning you go to get out of bed and zing, and then you go down going, wow, I'm only 40. Why do I have zingers in my back already? That's because of the poor hip functioning. Obviously, it could be a myriad of other reasons, but one good way to test to see if you are in that camp of weak glutes is with a fantastic exercise known as the Cook Bridge, coined by Dr. Gray Cook himself. But the idea is that we are trying to get you in a position where we can isolate the glutes and only the glutes to fire by taking away all of the friends that could help them compensate, so that way you can figure out, am I actually able to recruit my glutes when I need to? So first and foremost is we're lying on the ground. I'm gonna bring one heel as close to my butt as possible. This is putting my hamstrings on active insufficiency so they cannot assist. I'm pulling my toes off the ground. This way I cannot recruit my quads to help push myself up. Then I'm going to grab my other knee and hug it to my chest. This way I can't get my other glute to help kick in, and I can't use my hip flexors to help lift my hips off the ground either. So with everything locked down and it's very purposeful positioning, then I simply squeeze my butt and drive through my heel. And there is the Cook Bridge. If you feel like you're struggling to get up, we can further tap into another fun little magic trick called the mind-body connection, where if you have someone that's struggling to activate a muscle group, like, hey, use your glute min. I'm sorry, my what? Put your finger there and go, squeeze against my finger. Oh, that. When I can physically feel myself squeeze against my hand, it makes it easier for me to establish that mind-body connection. And now I can more strongly and adequately recruit that muscle on command. Your muscles don't go away. They can get weaker, but they don't vanish. You might forget how to use them, but with the right training, we can get them to reactivate and get them back up to snuff. That's exactly one of the things that we do here at Primedy Health.